Well, you got guys fighting between 130, 135, and 140. Um, they stack, around that area. So, I mean, as of right now, um, well, probably
Skills that pay the bills.
well, the two guys, well, the biggest puncher I feel at the 135 will probably be Gervonta Tank Davis. But the most skillful fighter at 135 will be hands down Shakur Stevens.
In a surprising move, Floyd Mayweather recently broke down the Gervonta Davis versus Shakur Stevenson fight. Davis ascended to the rank of full WBA champion after Devin Haney advanced to a higher weight class. He solidified his status by delivering a decisive knockout victory over fellow southpaw Frank Martin. Stevenson battled Edwin de los Santos for the vacant WBC belt, securing a decisive victory. He then successfully defended his title against Artem Harutyunyan, both matches extending the full distance, but drawing criticism for their lack of excitement. In response to the skeptics, Shakur asserted that his true prowess would shine through when matched against top-tier opponents. Tank is looking for a new fight after IBF champion Vasily Lomachenko pulled out of preliminary talks. Simplifying matters further, Stevenson has embarked on a new chapter of free agency following an extensive tenure with the promotional powerhouse, Top Rank. While Bob Arum, the leading figure at Top Rank, may no longer be directly orchestrating events, he foresaw this potential matchup earlier this year. Arum said, "Tank is an excellent fighter and a big attraction. So sure, we'd like to match Stevenson, Lomachenko, and Lopez against Tank Davis and see how well they would do. I like our guys to win the fight. All three would beat Davis. I really believe that. But that's why they do the fights, right?" Again, we're open to any of that. Notably, Arum isn't promoting Shakur anymore, so he may have no role in making arrangements of this potential bout. But fans may soon witness unity clashes between the aforementioned players in the 135 scene, which is as loaded as ever. Therefore, if the business side was handled, who would win? Prominent trainer and analyst Teddy Atlas supported Gervonta Tank Davis in a Pro Box TV broadcast. Atlas said that Tank Davis is the man. According to him, Davis is in his prime and can do everything. He mentioned that Davis is not only the harder puncher, but also a terrific counterpuncher who sets traps and uses his legs when necessary. Atlas added that Davis is patient when needed, deliberate and cerebral, making him the complete package right now.
Tank Davis is the man. Okay. Right now, he's in his prime. He can do everything. Forget about the fact that he's the hardest puncher and all of that, but he's also a terrific counterpuncher, sets traps, can use his legs when he has to. He's patient when he needs to be patient, deliberate, cerebral, as both champions talked about. Right now, he's the full package.
Atlas said that Tank Davis is probably the only guy he can think of beating Shakur Stevenson right now. He noted that Stevenson is difficult to beat because of his style, ability, eyes, legs, hand speed, and the way he controls range. Atlas stated that Tank Davis is the only one he can see possibly deciphering Shakur Stevenson, emphasizing how good Davis is and why he is the man.
He's probably the only guy I can think of beating Shakur Stevenson right now, because Shakur Stevenson is that difficult because of his style, because of his abilities, because of his eyes, because of his, his legs, that his hand speed, the way that he controls range. Tank Davis is the only guy that I can see that could possibly decipher that style and beat Shakur Stevenson. That's how good he is. That's why he's the man.
Sporting distinct styles and unique skill sets, the two champions now share a division, poised to settle the question. Can Stevenson's elite defense and fluid movement outmaneuver the relentless power and pursuit of Davis over 12 rounds? In a conversation with Fight Hype, ex-WBO super bantamweight world champion Angelo Leo cast his vote for Tank Davis to emerge victorious, drawing on his first-hand sparring experiences with both contenders. Leo said, "Personally, I like Tank a little bit more. He's a very smart fighter, very smart, very cunning. He's fast on the counterpunches, and I just think he's got a lot of skill. People just think that he's a power puncher, a heavy puncher, but he's also very technical, and he knows how to pick his shots, when to pick his shots." Great news for fans. These predictions might soon face reality. With the collapse of negotiations with IBF champion Vasily Lomachenko, Davis is now without an opponent. This opens the door for him to unify his WBA belt with Shakur's WBC, pending both fighters' signatures. Kenny Ellis, Tank's co-trainer, stated that fear is the only thing that can get in the way, and mentioned Stevenson's recent promotion free agency as another roadblock avoided. If both parties can come to an agreement, Stevenson's superior defense might face off against Tank Davis's explosiveness. The question of who would win in those loaded weight classes and who is the best has long been up for discussion. Recently minted heavyweight champion Claressa Shields believes Stevenson was the best in an interview with Cigar Talk. Claressa said that Shakur is the best. She believes he is better than Tank, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, and Teofimo Lopez. According to her, Shakur is her #1 in those weight classes and sees a reflection of herself in him.
Can't tell me nothing about Shakur. Shakur is the best. To me, he's better than Tank. He's better than Devin. He's better than Ryan. Shakur, he's better than Teofimo. Shakur is my #1 when it comes to those weight classes.
Yeah.
Shakur to me is the best. He is me.
So you think, because the big one, they want, Shakur and Tank. That's the one everybody talking about. That's the one they want to see. Tank
They be mad at me, boy.
Yeah.
And that lead up.
The world champion at 4 weights went on to say that Stevenson will defeat Tank and that he had faced more difficult opponents en route to become a lightweight. Claressa added that she would never dismiss a fighter. She acknowledged that Tank has great skills and powerful punches, noting his explosiveness. However, she believes that Shakur has faced tougher challenges than Tank.
Look, I'm not gonna ever dismiss a fighter. I think that Tank got some great skills and got some hard-ass punches. He's so explosive, but so is Shakur. Yeah. Shakur has, to me, faced harder challenges than Tank.
Claressa then added that when considering the opponents Shakur has fought, their records and their styles, Tank cannot claim to be the best just because he knocked out Ryan and Raleigh. She questioned the significance of those opponents, suggesting they would never step into the ring with Shakur.
When you look at the guys who Shakur fought, look at their records, but also look at they styles, how they box. I remember Shakur was fighting against this strong-ass African dude.
Oh, Nakatila.
Man, that dude was strong. I was there. I'm like, man, this Shakur was on his shit.
Yeah.
Countering him, knocking him down, but that dude was just thoroughbred, just strong though. You can look at him look at he got big old hands, big old arms, forearms, and Shakur went there and did what he did to him. So it's Tank cannot say he's the best if he's talking about how he knocked out Ryan and knocked out Rosie. Who the fuck is a Rosie and who the fuck is a Ryan? I'm sorry. Yeah. Those guys will never get in the ring with Shakur. And I say that respectfully, Rosie is not a great boxer.
She acknowledged the possibility of a knockout, but noted that if Tank is only getting hit 5 or 6% of the time, it's different. She expressed her support for Shakur in the fight, emphasizing that he is smart, strong, and fast, and that he raises his level when he has something to prove.
I'm just saying that I'm gonna give credit where it's due. Tank is very skilled, Tank is very strong. But Shakur is getting hit 5% with shots. He's getting whatever shots you throwing, only 5% of them landing.
Yeah.
And people are it only take one. You're right. It only take one. But when you only getting hit 5%, 6%, I'm just rocking with Shakur for that fight. And Shakur gonna be smart. Shakur strong too. Shakur fast too.
In an Essentially Sports interview, Timothy Bradley speculated that Stevenson might be the fighter to derail Gervonta Davis's winning streak, highlighting Stevenson's exceptional boxing prowess as a key factor. Bradley stated confidently, "Shakur doesn't need any wisdom from me. He knows what to do. Whether he's with Top Rank or not, Shakur is that guy. He doesn't need me to tell him what to do." In a perspective game, Bradley thinks Davis's 14-month absence before the Frank Martin fight might be a factor that makes Stevenson the favorite. He said, "Stevenson knows he has that fight in him, that he's cut from a different cloth. He keeps bringing that intensity, he beats Tank. He surpasses him very easily, without any problem." However, it appears that Shakur is struggling to get the biggest and best fights in his division. In his last 2 fights, the current lightweight champion has come under fire for his less than fan-friendly boxing technique. He mentioned that an injury hampered his performance when he defeated Edwin de los Santos to claim the vacant WBC belt last year. More recently, he attributed his struggles in the ring against Artem Harutyunyan to his opponent's excessively defensive tactics during their 12-round bout. Currently, he is being connected to major bouts with the likes of fellow champion Gervonta Tank Davis. a matchup that would surely push the Newark fighter to his limits. Just yesterday, there were erroneous reports claiming that the fight had been confirmed. But because of Stevenson's style, one current world champion has stated on Fight Hub TV that he is not interested in competing against him. Isaac Pitbull Cruz, the current WBA super lightweight champion, gave a list of reasons why he wants to fight other boxers in the class. He said, Gervonta Davis is a good fight people want to see. Teofimo Lopez would be good cause both styles fit well. Ryan Garika because it's a fight people want to see. Cruz went on to explain why he wouldn't take on Stevenson, citing his prior defeat at the hands of Tank. He said, the fight with Stevenson is not a fight for the people. All the people will go to sleep then. It will be like a Mozart concert for the people, and everyone will go to sleep. Notably, Cruz will defend his championship for the first time this weekend in Los Angeles against Jose Valenzuela on the Terence Crawford-Israel Madrimov card. Shakur Stevenson has never hidden his intention to take on Vasily Lomachenko and Gervonta Tank Davis. If Davis and Lomachenko were to face off in a lightweight world championship unification fight, Stevenson has another opponent in mind, one he thinks might actually present an even tougher challenge for Davis than Lomachenko would. Stevenson has his eyes firmly fixed on William Zepeda, the fighter who achieved a stunning knockout against Giovanni Cabrera on the very evening Stevenson clinched a unanimous decision over Artem Harutyunyan. Stevenson, the WBC lightweight world champion, remarked on the Cigar Talk YouTube channel, "If Tank is set to face Lomachenko, why shouldn't I step up to a tougher opponent? William Zepeda could be the real test with his relentless volume and punch output, but where's he at these days?" Stevenson is unsure if Golden Boy Promotions and Oscar De La Hoya will pursue the fight, even though Zepeda is a bright prospect. Instead, Stevenson, a native of Newark, New Jersey, has a hunch that De La Hoya might guide Zepeda into a bout with Denise Berenchyk, the reigning WBO lightweight world champion. Stevenson added, "I think they're aiming for another fight where they can win a belt. Berenchyk, they don't want this belt. They don't want the WBC belt." In a recent podcast, Shakur Stevenson explored the differences between his fighting style and that of Gervonta Tank Davis. Stevenson noted that Davis's impressive knockout power frequently overshadows the true nature of his own skills. He explained, "People are blessed with different abilities. He's blessed with the ability that if he cracks you, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna go down. I'm blessed with amazing eyes. I can see punches coming my way and get away from them. They probably judge me on a scale compared to him. At the end of the day, he's a great fighter. He's a special fighter, but I'm special in my own right too." Fans are buzzing with excitement at the prospect of a showdown between Gervonta Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson. This much-anticipated fight promises to be a thrilling clash of styles, with Davis's devastating knockout power facing off against Stevenson's masterful defensive prowess. With both fighters holding undefeated records in the same weight class, the stage is set for a dramatic encounter in 2025 as they both vie for the title of undisputed champion. Promoter Eddie Hearn was non-committal about his interest in bringing free agent Shakur Stevenson on board. He voiced uncertainty about whether he could provide Shakur with the caliber of fights he would expect if he joined Hearn's roster. Eddie claims to have visited with Stevenson's management lately and expressed his desire to sign the 27-year-old, but that signing him would depend on delivering the appropriate fights for him. Given that Hearn is unable to secure fights with Tank Davis, Vasily Lomachenko, or William Zepeda for Shakur, his remaining options are limited to fighters at 140 pounds, most of whom would likely come out on top. If Hearn is unable to find suitable matches, Shakur's career would continue to crash and burn, as he would be forced to fight his stablemates from Matchroom at 140. At 140 pounds, Shakur would be like a fish out of its element, struggling to keep up due to his diminished power and becoming a headache for broadcasters. We'd see dismal ratings and Hearn would be lamenting his poor decision to sign him, shedding tears over a deal gone wrong. Shakur's sights are set solely on bouts with Gervonta Davis and Vasily Lomachenko, a guarantee that Hearn is unable to provide. While Hearn might attempt to orchestrate these matchups, securing either fight remains uncertain. I've met with Shakur, Jay Prince, and Josh Duban. They're a great team. It was a really honest conversation, and the conversation was, "I would love to sign you," said promoter Eddie Hearn to IFL TV about his interest in signing free agent Shakur Stevenson to his Matchroom promotion. When the conversation veered towards Shakur during the interview, Hearn's enthusiasm noticeably waned. His expression revealed a distinct reluctance to incorporate Shakur into his team, suggesting he's wary of the inevitable complaints that will arise if he fails to secure the high-profile fights Shakur is demanding against Tank and Lomachenko. Hearn's expression twisted as if he'd just chomped down on a lemon. Clearly, he wasn't savoring the flavor. Years in the industry had taught him that failing to secure the fights Shakur was so desperate for would have serious consequences. Hearn continued about Shakur, "I need to deliver the right fights for you, and if I can't deliver those fights for you, maybe I'm not the guy to be with. We all agree that with the right fights, I'm the right guy for the job, but I've got to deliver the right fights." At this stage in his career, Lomachenko is unlikely to relish the idea of chasing a nimble and elusive fighter like Shakur around the ring for a full 12 rounds. It's entirely understandable if Loma hesitates to take on Shakur, fully aware of the challenges such a matchup presents and the potential for a chorus of disapproval from the crowd. He'll be here Saturday, as will the rest of the world. If we can work with Shakur, I'd love to work with Shakur, but it's got to be right for him. It's got to be right for us as well. On my part, I'd love to be Shakur's promoter because I think he's a great fighter, said Hearn. Hearn's worst nightmare would be to bring Shakur on board, only to fall short in delivering the high-profile matches he craves. If that happens, Shakur could turn into a bitter, resentful figure, publicly lambasting his decision to join forces with Hearn on social media. The fallout would be a venomous outpouring of dissatisfaction, leaving Hearn drowning in regret over the ill-fated signing. Shakur could struggle against certain opponents, particularly Andy Cruz. The 2020 Olympic gold medalist Cruz shares Shakur's style, but excels far more offensively. Additionally, I believe Para would defeat Shakur and make Hearn's acquisition of Shakur seem questionable. Since Hearn already has a fighter like Shakur and Cruz, it's puzzling why he'd need a second one. Hearn said, "The only way I'm involved in a Shakur Tank deal is if I'm working with Shakur, and at the moment, I'm not. Whether he needs me once, he does that deal, or whether he signs with PBC, I don't know." Shakur doesn't rely on Hearn to secure a matchup with Tank Davis. While aligning with Hearn could boost Shakur's promotional efforts, thanks to Hearn's knack for generating buzz around his fighters if he's invested in them, it's not a necessity. If Hearn takes a liking to Shakur, he'll put in considerable effort to elevate Shakur's profile through interviews and other promotional activities. Hearn added, "I wouldn't be surprised to see Tank against Shakur because fights get made, and situations and circumstances are everything. So Tank has all his eggs in his basket for a Lomachenko fight, and then that falls through. You're really left holding your that point going, blimey, who am I going to fight?" Tank Davis is not dependent on Shakur. Tank is a huge star, so even if the fight doesn't happen, he can still compete effectively against anyone. Boom! Shakur is a free agent. He's ready to do a deal, and timing is everything, said Hearn. He further added, "So I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't spoken to Shakur since I saw him about a week ago, but maybe they're in discussions for that fight with Tank Davis. If they are and they haven't signed with PBC, I'd love to be a part of the team." Hearn's enthusiasm for Shakur seems notably subdued, especially when contrasted with the animated excitement he displayed over the prospect of signing Jaron Boots Ennis. The difference in his demeanor is striking, but Hearn's enthusiasm for Boots Ennis is palpable, almost like a child unwrapping his most cherished gift. In stark contrast, his attitude towards Shakur is noticeably lukewarm. It's clear he's not keen on bringing Shakur onto his team, and honestly, who could blame him? I'd feel the same way. If they have, good luck, and maybe we'll work together in the future. I hope Shakur, with or without us, can make fights that can define his legacy, said Hearn. In contrast, Gervonta Davis, a fellow lightweight competitor and Stevenson's countryman, is renowned for his knockout prowess. Nicknamed Tank, Davis has amassed 28 knockouts in 30 bouts, delivering punches of sheer, overwhelming force once he's deciphered his opponent's strategies. The clash between their contrasting styles is often seen as a thrilling prospect. Yet, for the up-and-coming featherweight star Bruce "Shoo Shoo" Carrington Jr., there's an urgent need for Shakur to elevate his performance before stepping into the ring with the 29-year-old knockout dynamo. When Carrington sat down with Jorge Smoot from Mill City Boxing, Smoot inquired whether the bout between the two fighters could become a major PPV event. The 27-year-old from Brownsville, Brooklyn, responded with a firm no. Carrington believes Stevenson needs to break out of his defensive stance and be more aggressive in his future matches to justify a showdown with Gervonta Davis. Carrington said to Mill City Boxing, "Right now, no. I feel because these guys are young. They have time to build it up, and because how the audience has been taking Shakur's last performance. The interest of it is low. For it to be big again, Shakur has to have exciting performances, at least back-to-back performances." In his final bout with Haratunian, Shakur Stevenson acknowledged that his training still had room for improvement. During the post-fight interview, he mentioned that he needed to refine his ability to close the distance in the ring to deliver more impactful blows to his opponents. "I have to cut the ring a little more because my opponent was going one way and then the other, so I have to go back to the gym and work on cutting the ring," Stevenson remarked. To truly showcase Stevenson's skills as a defensive counterpuncher, he requires an opponent who will actively engage and force him to step out of his comfort zone. While Davis appears to be the perfect matchup for this role, Stevenson first needs to secure a contract with a promotion. Additionally, he must generate some buzz in his forthcoming bouts to become a compelling PPV attraction in Davis's eyes. Shakur Stevenson's problems are currently becoming worse because two major promoters have already withdrawn from the competition to sign him. Shakur Stevenson is now a free agent after recently rejecting a new $18 million contract for 6 fights from Top Rank, his former promoter. Bob Arum, the head of Top Rank, has expressed no ill will, acknowledging Stevenson's right to seek more favorable terms. Stevenson, however, will not be seeking a revised offer, bringing his search for a better deal to a close. Reportedly, Shakur's team also had meetings with Golden Boy Promotions, but it didn't materialize into an enticing fight contract. Dropping out of the race to sign him, Oscar De La Hoya commented, "Shakur Stevenson, you're a free agent. You're a great fighter and a great talent, but not for me. I believe that when somebody says you're not fighting for the public, I cannot promote." Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing appears to be leading the race to sign him. The British promoter is confident that he can achieve remarkable results with Stevenson, claiming that Stevenson's former promoter, Bob Arum, had done a terrible job in showcasing his talent. Meanwhile, Floyd Mayweather has analyzed the Tank versus Shakur fight. During an appearance on the It Is What It Is podcast, Mayweather, who played a significant role in shaping much of Gervonta Tank Davis's career before their contentious split, described both fighters as the top talents in their division, each excelling for different reasons. Mayweather pointed out the competitiveness of the weight classes between 130, 135, and 160 pounds. He noted that, at present, Gervonta Davis is likely the hardest hitter at 135 pounds, while Shakur Stevenson is undeniably the most skillful fighter in that weight class. Davis has defeated all but 2 of his opponents within the distance, demonstrating some of the sport's most precisely timed and powerful punches. In contrast, Stevenson, with a knockout-to-win ratio of only 45%, boasts the best defense in the sport, as shown by the statistics. When asked if possessing the necessary skills alone would be enough to defeat opponents, Mayweather agreed. Mayweather emphasized that boxing is fundamentally about skills, citing Pernell Whitaker as an example. Despite not being a powerful puncher, Whitaker was highly exciting, tough, and fought against everyone. Mayweather noted that Shakur Stevenson is aiming to follow a similar path by seeking out the best opponents. He mentioned that Stevenson's contract is nearing its end and expressed hope that they could work together to elevate Stevenson to the next level with the right fights.
Well, it's really all about skills. Pernell Whitaker wasn't a huge puncher, but he was, very exciting, very tough, and he fought everybody. And Shakur is trying to do the same thing. He want to fight the best they got out there. He's asking, can he fight the best? I believe his contract is coming to an end, so hopefully we can come together and I can take him to that next level and give him the fights that he want, and make the fights happen that he want.
It nearly became a reality. Nearly. The boxing world was abuzz with the prospect of a showdown between Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson, sparking intense debates over who reigns supreme in the ring. Fans were electrified by the rumors that this epic clash might actually happen, but alas, it was not to be. Boxing insider Dan Rafael stepped in to quash the swirling speculation and deliver a jarring reality check to the eager fans. The announcement of a unification bout between 2 champions sent shockwaves through the internet. With undefeated records, distinct fighting styles, and 2 championship belts on the line, this clash promised to be a PPV sensation. Add their fierce rivalry to the equation, and the excitement is palpable. When a channel revealed that the fight was set for November 23rd, fans were exhilarated, but their enthusiasm was fleeting. Rafael took to his X handle and wrote, "I'm told by 2 people who would be involved that this is not true." In a following post, the American sports writer reconfirmed his stance and declared, "I asked a third source just now who would be directly involved if it was true, and the response was, not at all." Stevenson soon had to respond to the speculation that he would take on Tank next. He declared, "This is fake." It's interesting to note that he is already writing the script for a fresh fight behind the scenes. Who is the person opposing him? Boxing Scene reports that Stevenson, boasting a flawless 22-0 record, has set his sights on William Zepeda. At 28, Zepeda is known for his explosive style and formidable knockout capability. This matchup will showcase Stevenson's technical prowess against Zepeda's raw power. Additionally, with Sugar currently a free agent, Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions is well positioned to secure a contract with him. Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.